What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 81 Reasons podcast. This is Zach Edwards with co-host Marcus Foster. Um, we wanted to start the first episode off as honestly just dive into our own personal backgrounds. Because honestly, we can't expect anybody to open up or be vulnerable or feel safe space if we don't first give off that platform. We're first starting with ourselves. So today, I think we'll be getting into the story of Marcus Foster. Man, he's a great guy from Troy, Ohio. One of my best friends since we met. I really think he has a powerful message and a powerful story to tell that can help um, people that have been in his shoes, people that will probably be in his shoes, and high schoolers, middle schoolers growing up in the athletic world. I think this story will be powerful, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And honestly, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and get into this. Poncho, you ready?
Yes, sir, man. Let's do it.
All right, man. Just give us a little background of like you said, Troy, Ohio, man. Some of the great athletes from Troy, Ohio. Some great people from Troy, Ohio. How was it like growing up in Troy, Ohio? I know it's like a small town, man, but very traditional.
Yeah, man. It's small, it's big for his county, but as for I don't know, Troy House, about 20 minutes north of Dayton. Born and raised there. And just as for growing up, it was like you said, a small town. So back in the day, all we knew was kind of picking up a ball, playing basketball, football in the park. Just I don't know, even from my younger days, starting out playing football, it was second, third grade. Shoot, I started on the line. I didn't even have the rock in my hands at first. So it was for my first couple years. I was playing O line, D line. I was a little bit bigger, but I wasn't that big to the
Yeah,
point where, you know what I'm saying, I gotta, you know, sit block. You
yeah.
know what
It's
I'm
probably
saying?
one of the biggest in your grade, though. You know what I mean? Probably that's probably what it was.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. After kind of the first couple years grinding through it, shoot, at that age too, it was something where, man, I almost stopped playing football. I almost stopped chasing my dreams at an early
Yeah,
age. I was about done. But no, I ended up kind of growing into just my body. Um, shoot, my mom, thank God. As I was born, shoot, I was 11 pounds 4 ounces, big ass baby. But
goodness.
thank you, God, mom, man, for doing what she did. Biggest baby, actually held the record at the hospital at the time.
Dang.
But as for like, I don't know, just navigating through Troy. There was a lot of great athletes, kind of just being able to watch, just stories we've heard, and just through my era. I was like a ball boy for Shane Carter, Mike Hall, Matt Twilliger, cats on the basketball. Shane played football, ended up playing at Wisconsin, but I had just a lot of folks that like paved the way for me. So growing up, um, it was just a cool experience being able to see that just right from the sideline. Even before that, there was um, just from Brooks Hall, there was Ryan Brewer. Like you had mentioned, a lot of folks that came through Troy that really paved the way. Todd Denlinger, Chris Steelman, a lot of those folks did play in the league. Um, and just as for, I don't know, from Troy being a small town and only so many folks being able to play at that college level, I'm thankful and blessed to be able to say that I did it. Maybe it didn't go the way that I wanted, but as for God's plan and just whatever's kind of next in people's lives, nobody ever really knows. But I can say, yeah, through Troy graduating in 2012, it was some great years. Definitely had a lot of success. Still being in Division One. I mean, shoot, we're kind of fast forwarding it, but football was something that I ended up playing in college, but I could have swore basketball was my first love. Picked up a ball at an early age. My dad and his class, they held the record for Troy, still do for just how far they made it in I think it was like 20, 21-3 or something like that. Um, so it was basketball where I could have swore, man, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But I'm only 6 foot, 6'1" on a good day. And
Putting on the
yeah,
shoes.
as for college basketball, you got to be at, I mean, 6'4"
Shit.
and up. You got to be a baller, and I don't know, even basketball. I mean, I'm touching on that because, like I said, I was a ball boy, but my brother, he was a great athlete. He only really played basketball. His AAU team, my brother CJ Foster, but his AAU team, he played with folks like Daquan Cook, who played at Ohio State, along with Matt Terwilliger, there during that time, and then like Aaron Pogue, Tony Dixon, a lot of cats that went to Dayton Dunbar, but boy, they won about 99% of the games. So I mean, just what I was able to see at a young age was just like winning was just like, I don't know how to find a way, just that competitive mindset when it comes to sports and what really brings mentally. Once you kind of see it a lot, I mean, it's something where I don't know, you start to adapt to it. It's like
Right.
what you watch on TV, what you watch on YouTube, what you
That's what you
consume
know.
yourself with,
Yeah.
you start to kind of be that type of way or person. So I was blessed and thankful to have a great household. My dad was always active, kind of just catching rebounds, catching passes, just being there as a active parent. Thank God. I mean, there's some people have the story of, kind of doing it on their own. Father figures maybe not being there, parental figures just
Being
not being
raised by
able
their
to.
grandparents, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was actually talking to my dad about that. It's a lot more of that than people actually realize. There's a lot of kids growing up nowadays that I mean they don't have either parent that's involved. I mean it's more of grandparents. And I know
mm,
that's that age gap that can be very difficult for both the grandparent and the child or the the adolescent.
yeah,
But picking up on that, man, I'm hearing what you're saying, but you're not really giving the people the real, man. Like you're being humble, and I understand it, but like you were like one of the biggest recruits coming out of Troy, Ohio. If I remember, I think you were at the time the biggest recruit or commitment that the University of Cincinnati has had. Um, so with that being said, what was it like being that guy in Troy, Ohio, and the recruiting process and like the biggest challenges that you can remember during that time?
yeah, man. And just flash back into like the recruiting process and even just getting up to high school playing varsity ball. I remember as a freshman playing at Troy. The uh, the coach Billy Joe, man, he almost ran me out of the off the field. He was he'll rip your tail, and I mean he'll do it in a way that like he cares, but also like he's kind of giving you that tough love that you need to
Mm-hmm.
hear, especially moving into high school. So shout out to Billy Joe, man. But when it comes to like moving into high school, the head coach he was there for about 28 years, retired my senior year, Steve Nolan. Um, Kind of just being able to, I don't know, see just folks that played that game. I mean, we're talking about football here. I was talking about basketball for a little bit, but I mean, Cody Boyd, he was running back at Troy with number 5, dog. Shane Carter, like I said, played football and basketball. Ended up playing football at Wisconsin. McDonald's All American for basketball, dog. Um, I mean, Corey Brown, he was a running back, graduated a couple years before me, dog. And just what I was able to kind of like examine and see, like moving into my sophomore year, I kind of just, I don't know, took advantage of all opportunities at an early age. And it was something where at an early age, thankfully, like I said, I had good parents. I had a good foundation when it comes to just playing sports, playing AAU, playing football, having these great coaches growing up. First coach I ever had was Paul Hamus. He kind of set the groundwork to who I am today, just as a football player and just as a man. But really, I mean, sophomore year, I ended up starting as a both sides of the field as a running back, then as a corner. Played every game. Uh, we were one game shy from making the playoffs.
Mm.
It was a coulda, shoulda won game our senior year, and it was just something we kind of dropped the ball there, and that really kind of I don't know. I we didn't make the playoffs 10 plus years before that, um, around that, and it was like something we ain't did in a while. So I was like, this is what we got to do. We got to make the playoffs. I mean, that was step one, not just make the playoffs, but try to succeed in
Yeah.
Division One. Just making that way. But yeah, started 3 years as a varsity player on both sides of the ball. Really, honestly, never came off the field. I don't know what it was at the time.
Mm.
But if I try to run a mile right now,
Nah, not
every
happening.
day, I'm about to run a 10-minute mile.
And then what you were saying, man, a lot of people don't understand. I mean, people that do know football or no ball, period, man. You talk about making the playoffs, and then making the playoffs in Division One in Ohio for football is, I mean, that's tough. And then even if you make it there, you talking about being successful in there. It's hard to get a game, to win a game, especially at that time, dude. I think during our era in high school, there was like there weren't guys that were leaving schools to go to a different school and transfer in and out. You know what I mean?
Oh
In
yeah,
high
no,
school, like you had to play who you had to play, and at that time, it was dogs everywhere. Like there
right,
was kids,
facts.
especially in this area, this region, there was kids everywhere that was going big time school, and then 3 or 4 players on a team. So I mean, to win a
Facts.
game in the playoffs was tough. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
then
We played teams at that time. I mean, we were in the G Walk. We played teams like Centerville, Wayne. I mean, just prestigious, schools that have made Division 1 state, have state titles that like have a good amount of kids. But I mean, I think that's something that really gave me that competitive drive is just playing those bigger schools. Because even though we're a smaller school, smaller city, I mean, those are the schools and games you kind of count out. Shoot, I was actually just talking to Everhart, Troy Everhart.
it's my guy.
He is the current Troy um, football high school coach.
It's my
And when
guy.
it comes to my senior year, me and Zach graduated 2012, and the middies, came up to good old Troy, Ohio, week two, week
Yeah,
three, something like that of our senior season. And I was just talking to Troy about um, just the ways of the game it could have went. I mean, from the first half to almost two-score lead going into the second half, but the rest was from Middletown, so
hey,
we really didn't we weren't able to kind of get traction. We would have been up 2 touchdowns with a block kick that was house, but they called it excessive celebration.
yeah, man.
Um, I don't know
Hey,
who the
act like you've
refs
been
were.
there before. That's all. Just act like you've been there before.
Yeah, long story short, it was a hot day, man. Second half of the game, I didn't end up playing on the defensive side. Just played
Uh,
offense. They moved Zach Edwards. I don't know how or why the quarterback at the time. Jalen Marshall was the quarterback. He was a junior that year, I believe.
yeah,
No
I
Jalen
think his
Marshall.
ankle. He had rolled his ankle, I believe.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, he had rolled his
yeah,
ankle.
but if y'all know Jay Marshall, dog.
Dog.
So when it comes to I don't know him not playing on the offensive side, and just like I said, it being a day and night. It was in August or
Yeah,
September. It was
and him
just
not playing definitely limited us, dude. Because me at quarterback running the triple was not the ideal situation. So
yeah, yeah.
but thankfully your coach made that decision to not have you play defense the second half, which you know we're not mad about. But
Nah,
yeah,
man. So like I said, I didn't come off the field, but that game was really the only game that I did. And like, man, I look back at like I could have. I don't know. It's like I could have found that
hmm
will to win. That I mean, who knows what the outcome would have been? But like my mindset when I was in high school and just wanted to play both sides of the field, it was like if I'm not on the field, there's a chance that we don't have the best opportunity to win games.
hmm
So if I, had to play every minute, played from special teams to, like I said, I mean, four quarters, every down. Like, if that's what I had to do, then I'm I'm gonna do it.
You gotta
I'm a
do it.
team
Yeah.
player. At that age, I was
You just
very
wanted to win.
coachable. You said what?
Just wanted to win.
Wanted to win, bro, but like I was able to like be coachable and teachable, and just a guy that like coaches want to coach and like
Mm-hmm.
want to be out on that field. Like sometimes, like I was a coach myself, and just relaying what you're telling them from practice to like mindset to like them being on that field, you can't do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you're coaching them, like hopefully it translate on that field, but like sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they have a bad play and they get mentally in their head and have another bad play, but instead, like something I heard in college, Butch Jones, he was like just always like snap and clear, like from
Snap and
quarterbacks with
clear.
Munchie, Brennan K, cornerbacks. Like if you have a bad play, snap and clear. Next play, next man up mentality. God forbid if you get hurt or something like that, just be ready to go. But I don't know. It was just something where, thankfully, that experience in high school started to translate, kind of moving into college. I guess we can kind of start hitting on, I mean, how that alleyway went when it comes to recruiting and all that. But Bush Jones, he recruited me from Cincinnati at the time, starting my junior year. I remember they were my first offer. It was like January of my junior year. It was during a basketball season. We were at Tecumseh, so I got that call right before we were about to start playing. And I was like, they was like, hey, this is Bush Jones. Like, we want to offer you a scholarship to play at University of Cincinnati. I've been in contact with them before. They visited me and everything, but man, I was overwhelmed with joy
Yeah, there's no,
hearing
hey,
that,
there's no greater feeling than getting that phone call about we want to offer you a scholarship to play. Like, yes,
bro.
absolutely,
Absolutely not.
absolutely, yeah,
And I mean, I was able to, thankfully, some people, they chase that dream, they never get that call. They got to keep working. Like,
yeah,
man, when I got that call, me and my boys, we celebrated like we won the Super Bowl.
yeah.
My cat's on the basketball team. Shout out to y'all, man. It was a great moment, great memory. I wish I could say I dropped 30 that game, but I
That's,
probably dropped like 11
that was
or
my
whatever.
next question. Like, did you guys win? Did you put up some numbers or what?
Yeah, man. I mean, basketball, I don't know. I was a team player, bro. I don't know. Grew up playing AAU basketball as well. We had some dogs I played with from Dakota Swish with Joe Thomason to from Dayton. Played at, I believe, Jefferson. Could be wrong. But Dayton Nets played with them, AAU basketball. Played with cats like Andre Yates, Devin Foster, Gary Akbar, Teddy Hawkins. I mean, cats like we won. Like I said, my brother and them, they won about 99% of their games, but we won about 95% of our games. Like
Mm-hmm.
we was out there getting chips. And it was, I don't know, just like I said, from that winning mentality, like thank God, like I played on teams, and not to say that I was the only like person that made us like win games, but like every team that I've like played on, and this is not to like, I don't know, like I said, I'd be humble a lot, but like every team that I've like played on, um, we were winning games. Like we had a winning record, like not just like right over 500, but like we were
Yeah.
winning 80-90% of games. And it was just like, just from that winning mentality, like, man, I'm not trying to, I don't know, I hate losing. It's as a competitor, it was like, I don't want to lose. Just what needs to be done to win these games. And I mean, except actually, it was eighth grade. I moved to this one team called the Seahawks. Shout out to the Seahawks, man. I played with my boy Cody May, um, Tavion Hunt. We played a grade up. So we were playing like freshmen. And basically, it was like, what that really taught me, it was like, I don't know how, that there's folks better than you, but like when you're playing someone older, someone stronger, someone more mature, like that really humbles you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I shout out, his name was Coach Carter, um, like from the movie. Like he
Yeah.
really coached us like Coach Carter. Like he was like on our
Yeah.
tail
On you.
and
Yeah.
really didn't let a lot of stuff slide, but like that really molded me into a better person. Thankfully, like moving into high school, like because like I said, I thought I was the man. We win in every game, like a lot of the games, win a lot of chips, but that season we lost a lot of games
Mm.
to say the least. But nah, I mean, other than that, I mean, even in Cincinnati, like I didn't play my part, but thankfully I was a part of a lot of winning programs. The first two seasons that we were at, or I was at UC,
Mhm.
we went to bowl games, was Big East champs first season, and I mean, I don't know, just thankfully a part of that winning side. Because if I was part of the losing side, I mean, I don't know who I would be, but
Yeah. Um. So on top of that, man, we kind of got into the recruiting, but I wanna quickly take a little different segment. Like, who would you say? I know you gave us a lot of names of people you looked up to, as far as athletes and guys you got the opportunity to be around or got the opportunity or the experience to actually watch, play, and whatnot. But who would you say during that time period, or even now? I know outside of me and how much you look up to me, but like, who would you say is your biggest role models, or idols growing up?
um, that's a good question. I mean, as for role models, kind of growing up, um, I mean, Michael Jordan, he was
Yeah.
someone that was just like the GOAT, the dog, LeBron James. Um, I mean, like I said, locally during basketball season when my brother's playing AAU, Daquan Cook was my idol.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, like I said, he was a very talented person, bro. Could score from anywhere on the court, from 3 pointers to taking to the cup to just being just an elite athlete. Um, and I don't know. I mean, as for being a ball boy at Troy, it was Shane Carter, Mike Hall, kind of just seeing them folks like, I don't know, just their swagger, how they carry themselves. Like that was just something I got to see with my own two eyes, where it was like, huh, like let me try to emulate kind of these things and
Hmm.
see where it takes me or what it makes me into. Um, I mean, I could go on record. I mean, saying even to my father. I mean, he was somewhere. Just as for
Carl.
Carl, man, hey Robbie, as some people know, but I don't. I mean, he was really just such a father figure, not only to myself, but a lot of the other people that I played basketball with. That CJ's AAU team, like just from carpooling to just stat sheet guy to like basically everything he did, the little things, the ins and outs that kind of put the pieces together. Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say even my brother, he was someone where I don't know, kind of just always watched me growing up, was always kind of babysitting. I mean, he was 6 years older than me, so like my parents didn't really hire like daycare babysitter. I mean,
Yeah.
it's expensive, way more expensive at today's age, but like he was always kind of just keeping us active, playing ball with us. Just a couple of my friends he used to watch as well. So he was always like in that like fatherly role at the age of 14, 15, 16 times where like yeah, supposed to be a
Yeah.
teenager, but like he was really doing
Taking care of
things
you.
that a lot of teenagers weren't doing. And um he has 4 kids now, so that goes on to
Yeah.
say
It
that
helped him out. It helped
that
to be a
man
great. Yeah.
that man's a great father too.
Uh, yeah, he is, man. Shout out to CJ, man. Shout out to Carl, man. For those who don't know, man, I love Carl. Carl has played a big role in my life. Ever since me and Pancho met on campus, Carl's been in my corner. I'll get random messages from Carl to this day, just checking in on me. From when Carl would come up and come get us, take us back to Troy. I'm saying we go out to Frickers, with his little Keno, sit there while he playing Keno.
Oh yeah.
Then he'd bring us back up. Carl was that guy. And if
Yeah,
you
he
don't
had his
know,
own corner over at
Carl had
he
the
had
Chrysler that set the stage. He had the blacked out Chrysler, and on his license plate, it said, "I see you, Carl." Man, that's player. And Carl
Nah,
let me
big
know right
player.
there he was player.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna
shout out to
get that.
Carl, man.
I'm gonna get that when I'm in my OG days.
Got
The
to.
I see you, Mark.
Yeah, he got to,
But
bro. Carl did his thing.
yeah, Carl. Yeah, he had his own corner over at Frickers, bro, and just like when he came to campus, he would always bless. I'm sure a lot of folks that might be listening to this bless us with, a whole couple dozen set of some
Them
Carl's famous
cookies.
cookies.
Them
Uh,
cookies.
those would be gone in about a day, if that.
Yeah.
They ain't lasting too long.
Nah.
Um, but yeah, man, Carl, he definitely was I don't know, just a great father figure in my life. He was always there for me, especially coming down to UC. Would always come and visit, check on me, give me calls, shoot me some dough if I needed kind of anything. Thankfully, he was in that position to help me out, and um, even shoot at the time, man, you're 18, 19 years old. He he look out and hit, bless us with the bottle.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
And
Hey,
so that Grey Goose
yeah.
at the time, Ciroc at that
Yeah.
age, boy, hey,
Carl
you
was a
gonna have
guy, man.
you gonna
Carl
have
was,
you a night.
yeah. You know, it's always gonna be a good time when Carl showed up on campus. He came bearing gifts. I'll just say that. He
Hey,
came bearing gifts.
I'm here to tell the real, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, nah,
I'm
facts. Hey, tell it,
I'm
tell
here
it.
to just say,
Carl was that guy, man.
yeah,
You was gonna have a
yeah,
good time if Carl was in town. That's all I know.
yeah. He was an
Uh
igniter. He was an
yeah, he
igniter to
was. He was. He had a
get
lot
it
of
going.
fluid. But yeah, man. So I mean, we talked a little bit about the recruiting process. I mean, what like if you were going through recruiting right now, like if you were had to tell a guy that's going through recruiting, I'm sorry, a high school kid that's going through recruiting right now, just a little bit of like the ups and downs and the highs and lows, like the ins and the outs of it, like what you experienced. Like, yeah, it was good here with this guy. It wasn't good with this guy. He told me this. He told me that. You know, I mean, because I went through the recruiting process as well, so I know how it goes as far as like the recruitment. I mean, end of the day, they're all sales. They're salesmen. I mean, let's be honest, they're salesmen. Um, so I mean, just give us a little bit because I know my experience. I've had some guys tell me things, and then I show up, and it's not those things. You know, you're this, you're that, but then you show up and you're not this, and you're not that because they got another guy that was this and that. You know what I mean? So just
Nah,
just
yeah.
just real quick, just give us a quick little rundown on how you see the recruiting process and how it was for you.
So yeah, man, that recruiting process, exciting at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know what you're getting yourself into. Kind of overwhelming. Um, just sometimes it depends on how recruited you are. Thankfully, like you said, I mean, I was kind of highly recruited. And UC they showed the most interest. So it was Butch Jones who gave me the call, but Mark Elder he did a lot of the
Shout out to Coach
recruiting.
Elder,
Yeah, shout out to Coach Elder, man, great dude.
one of the realest.
One of the realest, bro. He always came, showed love. Always would stop by the school maybe a couple times a week. Just get me out of class, kind of chop it up. And as high school kid, if they hit you with the announcement like Marcus Foster, please come.
Yeah, you
I'm,
got
I'm
everybody
like,
looking at you like,
I'm
yeah,
like,
I'm holla at y'all.
hey, I'm gonna holler at y'all later.
Yeah,
Whatever it is, hey, put it on the tab. We go ahead and get that
yeah,
done later.
yeah.
But man, it was. I mean, it was something where I don't know. Looking back, like it was really eye opening. Just at that time in your life, like getting recruited as like a junior in high school. You're 16, 17 years old. Just kind of like I don't know. You're just balling out there. You're just a dude trying to live his dreams, and you finally kind of get some interest. Um, it was very exciting. I mean, not only UC, but after that kind of followed, there was a lot of Mac school offers that kind of came in, visited me, and then like really my recruiting process for myself um kind of came to an end shortly only because I committed.
Mhm.
Like I want to say a couple months in, like I said, I got the offer around January of my junior year, and then it was probably March, April that I committed. And if people kind of know now with the recruiting process, how it all works, spring ball for college coaches and all that. Like, really, it's something where kind of after like spring ball and things like that, like they're hitting the road.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming to kind of see the people they want to see, visit, the people they want to visit when it comes to recruiting. And I don't know, I kind of wish I would open the door up a little bit just to kind of pump the brakes. It was also something where too, like you said, man, they're salesmen, they're selling you the dream. Yeah, it was
And
it
I
was
and I know I'm not going off me, but it's just real quick. But like I know for me, I didn't really. I mean, shout out to my parents, love my parents to death, and my parents do any and everything for me still to this day. But
thing.
I didn't have anybody in my immediate family that went through the recruiting process.
Exactly.
So I know for me, we were all learning at the same time. So we didn't
Yep.
know right from wrong, wrong from right. We just knew what sounded good and what didn't sound good. You know what I mean? Just being genuine people.
Right.
So I know that can be a big deal with the recruiting process. If you haven't had anybody that's been through that process in itself, now y'all all are learning together. So yeah,
Yeah.
recruiting's a big deal, man. I don't know how it is nowadays. I mean, I do to an extent, but it's just I think right now it's like all over the place with all the transfer portals and all that. So,
Yeah.
but I know
Yeah.
back then when you had to recruit the guys you wanted and you had to stick with those guys, it was they were selling hard. They were selling hard.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, honestly, I kind of got persuaded into committing very, very early, only because like they hit me with we only got so many spots
Yeah,
here at UC. We really
yeah.
want you. And at the time, it was like literally that week of, I think it was, who was it? Maybe Andre Jones
Probably
at the
Dre.
time, and maybe I don't know, Kevin Brown or Drake Bruns. Like a
Because I
couple
know,
cats
yeah, because that
committed.
DB room was deep. Honestly,
Yeah.
that class was deep. For
Oh, for
those who don't know,
sure.
I had to come in the semester after, so I was in the class after 12. But I had to come in the class after the early session because our class was already filled up, and I was a DB coming in as well. So it was like that class was deep. I mean, you had what KB, Drake, Andre, you still had Dylan Combs.
Yeah, Dylan
Combs.
Combs, Kerry Combs' son.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to say there was there one more? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
we had
Leviticus was
Vit.
Vic was in our class.
Yep, Leviticus Payne.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that DB they went heavy on DBs, man.
nah, yeah, I know that ain't it. There might have been one other cat,
Yeah,
but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. At that time too, like you said, you had a gray shirt, what they call it. So he came
yeah.
in January. The following January, I came in a semester early, so I graduated my senior year early. In January of 2012, committed to UC, and was on campus January 4th, 2012. And right after I think it was the Liberty Bowl, they had left, got back
Mm-hmm.
from. I think that was on like New Year's Eve of 2011. I had gotten on campus, and yeah, I mean, it was something where I don't know. The recruiting process was, if I could look back on it, man, I mean, I would be more open ears, kind of do more research. Like I said, there's a plan for everybody. I'm not saying that I made the wrong decision, but also like you only get one recruiting process. So
Well, nowadays you don't.
yeah, actually, you're right. You're right with the
During
transfer
our
portal.
times, yes, you only got one recruit. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and it was
nowadays
something too where like at the time, like they don't got that now, but like your commitment, your word, like
that meant something.
that's a huge thing. And
Yeah,
like nowadays, like I don't know, the commitment, the word, like it kind of flips the script too. Is like coaches that be, giving you their word, their commitment that they're
and
going
then
to
they
be there for
bounce.
this long, and then they out the next year. Like you,
That was kind of my situation with Butch and them because I
yep,
committed under Butch,
yep,
and I commit, and then probably not even a few months later, oh, they're going to Tennessee. I said, oh, what is going on?
oh, bro, yeah,
But like you said, commitment for us, it was a big deal. I mean, I stuck with it. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, me and my dad talked about outsourcing other options, but I mean, at the end of the day, I was like, dude, Cincinnati is home for me. Especially with that experience, it's just the guys I knew were still going to be there as far as like player wise. When I went on my official, I mean, I was like, dude, Cincinnati's home for me. Like yeah, I could take the opportunity and go somewhere else now that that coach has gone. I said, but I committed here, and then Troy Everhart was big on that, man. I would say you touched on Troy Everhart earlier, which he was my coach in high school my senior year, but he was big on commitment, bro. He told us when he came in, he said he does not agree with a guy that will commit to a school and then decommit and commit somewhere else later. Like he was like he looked down on that to a sense. Like he obviously understood like your situation may be different. You might have something else going on, but he was big on that. And I felt it when he said, he's like, if you commit, and that's you committed. Like you giving your word. And as a man, that's one of the most powerful things you have is your word. Um, so
But
shout out to Coach Everhart for that because I stuck with it, and obviously, I mean, we'll get into that some other time. But I mean, staying at the University of Cincinnati did wonders for me. I would say,
yeah, no, absolutely, bro. I mean, your story is something that I can't wait to hear and kind of talk to you about it and just that process.
yeah.
Kind of getting to you seeing how you got there and all that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As for the recruiting trail, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of like, I don't know, stories you can hear from now. Um, if you're willing, I don't know. Sometimes, like you had said, in my situation as well, like my family members wasn't playing college ball, giving me
Mm-hmm.
like that advice. I mean, my head coach at the time, Steve Nolan, he uh he he was a guy that kind of helped me out. Um, just when it comes to, I don't know. I mean, getting those coaches to come in, but I feel like when it comes to like choosing, picking, I mean, that's my own decision that I have to make. That was something where I felt like I was kind of on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're at 17 years old, you're committing to something for 4 years. You also need to like look at the previous years of this coach. Like, okay, he's been here 4 years, 5 years. He's had, I mean, Coach Jones, he was there for 6 years. He had 5 seasons where he won 10 games.
Mm. And that's
And
wild,
I mean, that's a stat that not a lot of coaches are able to express and say what
especially
they
in the
did.
Big East at that time too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it was a phenomenal feat to where like it was actually that season before I actually enrolled, like before he left, he was actually in talks of leaving, before that Liberty Bowl game. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a shock to me because I was like, man, like dang, I already, I committed to this place. Like I hear like this coach might leave. Like so many things were going through my head, and like transfer portal wasn't a thing at the time. Decommitting wasn't really a thing. I remember getting a call from Coach Jones saying how he was going to stay there and everything, and like how I have his commitment and all that. Um, and then go on to see that following year he leaves. But I
Yeah.
mean, the thing that what he taught though, like what he brought to the table, he was a he was a ridiculous coach. I mean, there's two sides of the fence, I guess you could look at it like. I mean, I had experience for head coaches from college from Butch Jones and Tuberville. Like Butch Jones, he knew every single player, whether you're a walk on, a guy they call him at the time, you're on
Mm-hmm.
the field balling, doing your thing. Just any player on the roster would walk past you and he would know your first and last name, where you're from. He would know just the ins and outs to it. And he really like he would show a different type of like passion, like tough love. Like he would, yeah. I mean, he ain't gonna hold back. He'd have a microphone, an air horn, where like basically like he's sounding off on you in the middle of Nippert, in the
Yeah.
middle of campus during spring ball, talking about how you gonna go to Cincinnati State to play football, like or Northern Kentucky State, and like they ain't even got football teams,
Hell
but like
yeah. And
he
then
he
and
he
any of you know or ever been to Nippert, anybody that's watching this, you know Nippert is wide open.
yeah.
So you are getting put on blast in front of the entire campus and whoever is walking around that stadium.
Oh
And it
yeah.
is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories. I'm sure folks they know exactly the words he said, and they was ready to leave right off the
They
field
said,
right
yeah.
at that moment. But I don't know. They ended up kind of sticking it out. I mean, he'd get under some people's skin and things like that. He even did some things at this point in time, like I mean,
would be
not yeah,
saying,
like he might have got off.
yeah,
I remember. I'm just gonna say it just to say it, just because we're talking, and I mean, I remember because it's hitting me right now. But it was Chris Moore. All right, shout out to CMO, bro.
see Mo,
Uh, baller, dog. Uh, jump out the gym,
yeah,
head
head top
top.
all day, all day.
And CMO, bro, it was maybe sophomore year or so. Like he had dreads, and I remember he made him cut his dreads off.
Mm,
And I think he like even to the extent like sent it back to his mom.
really?
Yeah. And I think he ended up growing his dreads back out,
Yeah,
but like
he ended up going back out.
yeah, yeah. And but like some of the things that coaches got away with back in the day, like
You look
I
back on
don't
that.
know. I mean, you said what?
I said you look back on it like that wouldn't fly in today's day and age.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
then you
I don't know.
think
It's
about
just a
it though.
different era growing up and just like different way to kind of get people going. Like, I'm not saying that I was right. I don't think it's right at all. I'm not saying it's
Okay.
wrong either. I mean, what some coaches did. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pivotal moments kind of looking back because once that transitioned and Bush Jones departed ways, went to Tennessee. I think it was right before the Milk Bowl that he had left
Mm-hmm.
because man, I can't think of the coach's name at the time. He was the D line coach. He was the interim coach
Ball game.
for that bowl game. And then Tuberville came shortly after. Um, but that's two sides of the fence. Like I'm saying, Tuberville, he
Yeah, and
came
that and
in.
that's kind of going into my next question. Is like you gave us some bits and pieces of like your Butch Jones. Well, then, like, so you had what 1 year under Butch Jones,
Yeah, I had 1 year under Bush Jones.
one complete season, right? One complete
Yeah.
season.
So yeah, it was
Okay, and then I
January
get
2012. I came in, and then we went to the Belk Bowl that season, and then it was actually the following season. So it was 2013 that he had left, like
yeah.
December
So
2013.
mm-hmm.
So it was technically like two seasons under Bush Jones. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, that was kind of my experience with Bush Jones,
So yeah, well,
but
I
yeah,
mean, my next question was basically the transition of like your experiences. I mean, you gave us the Butch Jones piece. Now, just give us a little bit about your experiences when that next regime came in, which would have been Tommy Tuberville's regime, and how that played out for you, and like just the highs, the lows. Just a quick little rundown because I don't like giving people airtime if they don't deserve it. So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, man. Yeah, man. So during Tuberville's era, there's a lot of stories of unfortunate experiences. But I mean, in his previous days, I'm sure there's a lot of good stories about when he was a younger coach
mm-hmm.
and then win a national championship. What was it out in Auburn? I don't even know what year it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Auburn. Is it Auburn or? Cause I know he's with Miami as well, like the Hurricanes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was out of Auburn that he won.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it was kind of as you guys all know, Tuberville's kind of final years. So
Mm-hmm.
when he came to UC, it was what was it, January of 20,
I think it was
20
13, bro, because I came in 13.
yeah, yeah, it was January of 2013. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, actually, you know what? My fault. Yeah, Butch Jones only had one technical year under him. And
Mm-hmm.
then the following year was when he had left and Tommy Tuberville came in. So when Tuberville came in January ish range of February before spring ball, or maybe even during spring ball, I can't really remember.
Mm-hmm.
But he I don't know, he was way different than Bush Jones. He didn't have that fire in him. he didn't kind of know guys like Butch Jones knew guys or took the time to want to know guys.
Hmm.
So like he was like Butch Jones, he was more of like a player coach. Like he knew the players, um, and he would coach them up if he had to.
Right.
Tommy Tuberville, he was more like a coach. I don't know if those are terms or whatnot, but I'm
Like,
just
so
kind of
he's
making up.
coaching up the coaches on how they should do it, and he's not
Yes,
really dealing with the players. He's dealing with the coaches on
bingo,
having the coaches deal with the play. I got you.
bingo. So yeah, he was kind of a one where like more passive aggressive, and then you can kind of just tell when he was there. Like I don't know, it was an unfortunate experience for my class because the class of 2012 that was recruited by Butch Jones the year before, when Tommy Tuberville came, it was it was a
Just
lot of folks that either
Exodus.
transferred
Yeah.
or got medically disqualified.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the transfer portal at the time. Um, I'm sure it would have kind of opened up a lot of different alleyways for a lot of folks, gave them more of an opportunity to play at maybe better schools and things like that. Like, man, it was, I could probably list off my hand like Jeremy Graves, Shy, um, Posley, um,
I mean, Buck even left. I mean,
Buck.
he ended up
Yep.
coming back. But Buck, yeah, Buck was the number one running back in the state of Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like, man, for our class, like it kind of dissolved so quick. Like when he had came in, it was spring ball right before, right around
Yeah, I think it
during.
was. I think it was winter. It came in winter conditions. Then we went in spring ball.
Okay. Um, so yeah, moving into like winter conditioning, spring ball. I'm still at DB safety. Um, just learning the ropes. So I got my basically first year under my belt, moving into my second year. I'm trying to, what can I do? Finally, sometimes at that time, like especially during college football, like you gotta earn your stripes. You gotta. Sometimes there's cats that are juniors, seniors. They've been doing it. They've been putting in the work. And sometimes you either got to outwork them or you kind of got to wait till they
Yeah,
ballers and they know the system. They kind of
and
doing their thing.
that was tough too, because like even with that changeover, so you lost the coach when Bush Jones left. You lost your DB coach, and then when Tuberville came here, I remember this. Tuberville came in and he brought a guy, older white gentleman. I can't remember his name, and he was there for all of like 2 weeks of winter conditioning as a DB coach, and then up and left because he got a job with the Philadelphia Eagles, if I remember correctly. And
Hmm.
then comes in Clinkscale, Steve. That's my guy. But it's crazy how fast that works. So you had three coaches in a matter of 4 months, 5 months.
Oh
So I mean,
yeah, I mean
that's a learning
even
curve in itself.
bro, even before that, like um, there was Coach Combs. He was DB coach at the time.
Mhm.
He up and left a couple weeks in as I committed in January 2012. He didn't get the I don't know exactly. He didn't get the defensive coordinator position. They ended up giving that to think Jantic it was, yeah, at the
Oceansik.
time.
Mhm.
And it was something where, man, Coach Combs that he was gonna be my DB coach, man. He done coached guys that have really been, I don't know, successful DBs
And he's
in that
Mr.
DB room.
Cincinnati. So like if you want to play for somebody at Cincinnati, it's Coach Combs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just a great overall guy. Cincinnati got through and through. He was one of the first DB coaches that like left during that time when I came there. And there was another coach that he went to go to Illinois, I think, to be a
Mm-hmm.
DC or DB coach, secondary coach, black dude, and I don't know, it was like a revolving door. Like my experience at UC in a matter of a short 2.5 years or so was I had about 6 or 7 DB coaches,
It's
and
crazy.
like I never really got a good like relationship with a lot of coaches just because like I was only with them for maybe a month or two,
Yeah.
and it was just unfortunate only because um like you had said, that DB coach came in. I thought he was gonna be a great coach. I mean, but then
Yeah.
he up and leaves. And then we got Coach Klink that came in and we're like, oh, we got a brother as a coach. Like, let's go. Um, but I mean his tactics, his I don't know, his mentality, like loved him as a coach. But yeah, during that spring ball season, as we kind of move forward to my second year, redshirt freshman, kind of not playing the first year and still having 4 years under your belt, it was I don't know. As for being a DB, like I learned kind of the plays, learned the system, learned I don't know, there's a lot to learn to it when it comes to just high school to college and
Yeah.
just that knowledge, that level, and just adapting to it when it
And
comes
it's
to
a
like,
lot faster. Like you got to pick it up a lot faster because they're
oh,
not
bro,
waiting
yeah,
on you to get it. You better
nah,
be at home studying, and
nah,
you better know what you're doing. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, I do remember like, yeah, bringing that playbook home and just studying just different like formations and just where you need to be. It was something really I never did in high school. So like, and just to that elite level, it was like, man, I really gotta like lock in and
got to
start to
dial
like
in.
learn the system and because I really want to play and I can't just want it. I gotta put in the time. So like
Hmm.
I said, after the first year, there was a couple seniors that had left. Um, Drew Fry, I think Battle. I don't know if he ended up playing my next year either. I think he had left as well. But um, man, I felt like it was my time to shine. So I'm a redshirt freshman playing second string safety at the time, and it was who was starting at the time. I think it was Chenault and
Snow was one of them.
Whitty.
Witty,
I
yeah,
don't know.
Snow
I don't
Witty.
know if Whitty moved to. I think he moved to safety at the
He
time
moved
because
to
we were
safety. It was Snow and Witty.
yeah, we were short. Like there really wasn't a lot. So I
Yeah,
was like, oh, bruh,
yeah, right. You,
hey,
hey, yeah, it's my time
hey,
to shine.
ready to go. Hey, I
Yeah,
can't wait till this season
yeah.
come up. I'm just gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna put in this work, and it's gonna be my time eventually. And that spring ball season, we had 3 spring games. However many practice we have during spring ball, maybe like 14 or something like
Hmm.
that, roughly. And man, those three spring games, I had an interception each spring game. The last spring game, I had 2 interceptions, and then it was they just enforced targeting. So I ain't mean
Oh, he
to,
tried to
but like
destroy Nate. Yeah,
I ain't mean to.
he
As
tried
my
to destroy.
roomie, shout
That's
out to my
crazy.
roomie Nate Cole. At the
That's crazy.
time,
You try to take him out.
I ain't mean to do you like that, my boy. But it was just like, man, we on opposite sides of the field. I'm just out here playing ball,
Yeah,
just and it was something that was like I feel like an asset of mine. Like I don't know, I'm a ball hawk, and I also like to like come down and bring the blammer.
yeah,
Um,
right. Nah, facts.
but yeah, I got a targeting penalty, and I get kicked out of that. We're not being
See,
able to play anymore after I hit him, man. Because I was just,
in the
man,
spring game.
I was just out here just trying to play ball, bro. Like
Yeah,
nowadays, spring games, like
it's
they ain't
flag
really,
football, man.
yeah, bro. It's getting a little weird, but like I don't know. I was just trying to like prove myself, like, and it was like great, a great overall spring ball season. I was just like, man, I can't wait for, summer, get these summer workouts, moving into fall camp, kind of going to higher ground and just like because I had been to higher ground before and I'm like, man, like it's time to go.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, it was something where during the Tuberville's time after spring ball season, moving into the summer, for some odd reason, I got moved to linebacker. And I'm like, bro, what? I
yeah.
was I was more of a heavier set safety, maybe weighed the most at the time. I was like 215.
But you can move. You can run.
Yeah, 210,
Yeah,
250. I'm giving myself 215 just because I'm like trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. But like,
yeah,
yeah, they moved me to linebacker, bro. But like as safety, like it's not like I was slow. Like it's not like I was like getting beat deep. Like I don't really know a lot of missed assign. I mean, yeah, you have certain plays, but like when it comes to like assignments, doing your job, like I can say that I did what I was supposed to do out there. But like also it's something where he's not the coach that recruited me.
yeah.
Like he has his recruits coming in. He has his kind of players he wants to play. He has
Right.
his idea of whatever kind of defensive scheme they want to run. And like I gotta
The
respect that to a
body
certain
types
extent.
that they want to put in certain positions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So it was that moving into summer, bro. Got moved to linebacker. It was like I don't know. I mean, what was it? Sam? I don't even know if it was the strong or
No,
weak side, but like,
I think you went. I think you were at Will because we went to. We ended up going
yeah,
predominantly to a 4-2-5.
yeah, because
So
it
if
would
you
it would
did,
have been more of a like nickel-ish position. If I would have like I don't know continued to pursue it, but like
mm-hmm,
it was just something where I don't know. I ended up being third string linebacker and just really I don't know. It was something that deflated everything that I thought, imagined that college football was going to be for me. So, like, moving into summer, I'm working out with the linebackers.
yeah,
These guys are, you know, 240, 230, 250. You got guys like Jeff Luck, bro. Freak of athlete, transferred not too long ago from Florida State. He's benching 315 10 times easily. I don't know if y'all are,
and he's sideline to sideline,
bro. Yes.
beating anybody in a race. You want to race? He gonna race you. He gonna beat you. Like he
Bro,
was,
yes.
he was a freak, bro. He was a
Yes.
freak.
Freak athlete, bro. I believe number one recruit or so in
Then you
his
had, and then
class.
you also had Nick Temple in front of you, who was one of the smartest players I've had the
Oh
opportunity
yeah,
to play with. You know what I mean? He
yeah,
knew things were going to happen before they happened. You know what I mean? And he
bro. He
was
had a nose
always
for the
around the
ball, bro.
ball. He
He
was
had a
always around the
nose for
ball.
the ball.
Yeah.
Like Nick Temple, Greg Blair at the time,
Greg was there as
um,
well. It
Solly,
was
Solomon Tentman, Highland. I mean, just a lot of casts where
T
like,
Murder. I mean, it was
oh,
that
bro,
linebacker room
yes.
was Corey
Let me
Mason.
not start naming names if I
Yeah,
forget
I know. Like,
a folk. I'm like, I apologize, but like, there's a lot of dogs out there.
yeah,
So I ended up, I'm working out, running with the linebackers, trying to get my weight up. I remember I put on like,
yeah, you blew
at
up.
my heaviest, I was like 235.
You were.
So I'm putting on, I'm just trying to adapt, whatever the coaches are telling me to do. Like I said, I'm coachable, teachable. I am just trying to do what needs to be done to be on that field. So I got to take on 300-pound linemen. I got to get my weight up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remember just summer moving into higher ground, fucking excuse my language, but like
That
I
has
don't
changed
know, bro.
times.
And higher ground was that was man, it was not like the first year, bro. Because like when you're taking on linemen, like and you're just sweating your tail off, and like you're also not in the position you thought you were gonna be, like it was just mentally draining.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just something where I don't know. I remember I was just talking to Highland about it, and he reminded me like we were doing these drills, me and Highland. I looked up at him. I'm like, "This is hell." And I was just like, "Man, I don't know. I
I
did
don't
not
want to be
sign up
here.
for
I don't like
this."
this. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. If y'all don't know about higher ground, that's a different animal. But
Turn boys into men for sure.
yeah. So I mean, that moving into that season, like I was playing my role. I was a special teams guy. Was on kickoff return, and it was just, I'm just all right. It's my year one. I'm restarting, I guess you could say, when it comes to playing experience. I got 3 more years to play, and little do I know, it was cut short. It was mid-season of my redshirt freshman year, and it was on kickoff. We're bussing Connecticut, bro. It's at
UConn.
home. We beating them like 42 to
Yeah,
like
it
nothing,
was. Yeah,
49 or something. So
yeah.
I'm just running down,
Make a
trying to go
play.
get the ball. Hey, trying to make a play. And man, it was just weird, just from like a cut, trying to make a tackle to like kind of like a block, like sort of like on my side back area to ended up finding myself laying on the ground with the weirdest feeling I've ever felt before coming from my knee. And I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I blacked out. Like I just
Mm,
don't really remember anything but just like looking up in the sky and then just like the coaches above me, Mangine, Simo, Colosimo, and just like they had kind of helped me off. And then it was right off the sideline, bro. Colosimo, he's evaluating my knee and he hits me with those words of, I think this is the ACL. And I'm
mm,
like, that's when I wouldn't even, it didn't even hurt enough to like cry at the time, bro. But
mm.
like, that's when it really hurt. When I heard those words, because I knew I've seen folks on that team that have been recovering or have recovered from ACL
It's
injuries. And
it's
just what that all entails is something that it's like, you feel like everything is just over. But a lot of people have recovered from that. But it was just like when I heard those words, bro, and when they carted me off the field to go get looked at, like I just, I don't know. It was just the worst feeling because I didn't want to believe it. And it
Right.
was just something where, I don't know. I mean, it ended up being my ACL. He was right. Had to get surgery. So that season was kind of done. I mean, just I was getting on that rehab process. But
Would you?
yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, looking back at it, I believe that like just my body never adapted to that kind of weight
Yeah.
soon enough because I put on like 20 pounds in a summer season, and I was just out there really trying to get it. Also with the weird kind of like cut on turf field and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. After that happened, it kind of felt like just that college arena felt deflated just being there because I would,
Uh,
be at practices, bro, just being on the sideline, just doing,
yeah.
those. If
Would you
y'all know,
say
bro, those injury workouts ain't no
different?
joke. If you hurt
Different.
your lower body, you're gonna be
It's
doing upper body for the first
you
half of
be
practice.
swole.
You're gonna get swole, and you're gonna be doing abs the second half. So
Yeah.
you gonna be working regardless.
You'd
But
rather
like,
not be hurt. But would you so I guess with that being said, because I mean, if those who don't know, that eventually led to you being medically DQ'd, which is very unfortunate. And I hate to see that for you. Would you say that was like the toughest thing you had to deal with your entire college career? Like that, like I mean, because I mean, I don't want to say you were battling it by yourself, but I mean that was an inner battle that you had to deal with. Like, man, dude, I'm the sport that I loved, that I played for forever, got cut short, and now, like, yeah, I'm still on scholarship, but I'm no longer participating in football activities. Like, would you say that was like the biggest battle you had to deal with?
yeah, I would say that was definitely the biggest battle. I mean, being in college, you're committed there. You came there to do like one thing. Okay, yeah, school was another thing, but like I came here to ball, especially like
Yeah.
you had said. I mean, not to say being the number one recruit coming in, the only 4-star for X amount of years,
Hmm.
and just like, man, I don't know, it was something where my life got flipped upside down so quick, and I got humbled so fast, and just like it was so devastating. I feel like at the time, I mean, it was that along with a few other things that, like, I mean, not just with sports, but like
Right.
it was something where during that time my mom and dad, they ended up getting divorced and they were together for 25 years.
Mm.
So that really played a part mentally, just because, man, my mom and dad, they used to come together, and then
Yeah.
seeing them come separately, it was just like hard to like, I don't know, adapt to. I mean, it was something I feel like at the time I wish I could have like talked about it more. I kind of just kept to myself and just never really kind of like voiced kind of what was going on at home, which
Hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people were going through things at home where like they don't really talk about just because, we're men, we're
And then
lacking
yeah,
at
and then
that.
I mean, and I want to touch some on that. Like, yeah, I was talking about football, and then you just went to things that you were dealing with outside of football. Excuse me. So, like, with that, like, with all of that, do you feel like you were ever, or you ever had the resources, or you could go seek out the help to talk about those things, like while you were there? Do you feel like you were supported enough with the university athletics or whatever it may be, to where you were like you could go speak to somebody about like, oh, I'm dealing with this. Like, dude, I just got DQ'd. I can't play the sport I
Right.
came here to play, what I love to do. And then on top of that, I got my parents going through this, and I'm dealing with XYZ at home. Do you ever feel like there was a any time or any yeah, just any time that you can go speak to somebody? Like, was those doors ever open for you that you felt comfortable enough to go through?
Yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, I wish kind of what they have now, the resources,
Mm-hmm.
and them kind of focusing on mental health a lot more, having actually departments for that, people that are professionals in that area, and something where just like as college athletes, like you need to have that outlet just because you're I don't know, you're at the top of the world. Like nobody can really tell you anything.
Yeah,
And same with like, I don't know, famous people, celebrity, like you're at the top of the world. So like when it just comes to like that help you need at that point in time, back in 2013, like that mental health just really wasn't a topic of conversation. It was more so like mental toughness.
yeah,
Like, how mentally tough are you? Like,
yeah,
and just not even allowing, like, there's, vulnerable and there's like toughness. Like, it was just, we're mentally tough. Like,
yeah.
there's no vulnerability to who we are as people, athletes. So it was really, I mean, really just a point in time after losing football and just even kind of during the rehab process and just after I was medically DQ'd. I mean, like I said, I was 230, and then I somehow, some way found myself like moving to like that next summer. I was like 200
Yeah,
pounds.
it was
Like,
it was night and day. It was night and
yeah,
day.
like, and someone mentioned, like, I didn't even know at that time what the word depressed was. Swear
Hmm.
on everything. Like, they're like, "Are you depressed?" I'm
What is that?
like, at that time, it was like, "What?" Like, "No, like, give me a beer, like, let's go out,
Yeah.
like, let's not talk about the hard things that I wish I would've, like, opened up to and just kinda had that vulnerability at the time." But, like, I don't know, when you're 18, 19 years old and you lose that sport that you've played for, you
Essentially
know
everything at the time, everything. I mean, let's
Oh,
just
yeah,
call it what it
that's
is. You lose everything.
yep, you
I
lose
mean, yeah, that
everything
will,
you
and I
had.
will say, just from the outside looking at, I could tell that was a tough time for you, man. I mean, it was at a point in time, dude. It was especially 65 West, bro. It was sun up to sundown, beer,
Yeah,
alcohol. Like it was sun up, sundown. Like it was what
yeah.
it was, and and the looking back on it, you could that sit there and say it was depression, but like I mean, like you said at the time, we wasn't thinking nothing about depression. Like depression, what do you mean? You know what I mean? But we were just like, I think it was a point in time where you were masking that depression with other substances, like we said, alcohol or whatever the case may be. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I seen it from outside looking in, and just the biggest part was just making sure that it didn't go any further than what it was at the time.
Not for sure. I mean, even at that time, bro, I mean, I'm looking back, just we're talking about the past and it's just things are starting to like click and connect. Like at the time, bro, I remember getting Zeus, our dog.
Yeah,
We had a dog at
it
the
was.
time, bro. He was 2 months or so old, 3 months old, and he was a pit bull terrier, still have him to this day. That I mean, he kind of gave me more of like a sense to like, not to say live, but like
Yeah, to
at that
keep going,
time,
to
taking
keep
care
going.
of like him, something else other than
Sense of
myself.
purpose.
Yeah, it was something where like I definitely wasn't taking care of myself. So if I can take care of something else, then it made me a lot better. Just as a human being, as a person, just trying to figure out myself and then just kind of, I don't know, I mean, adapting to what life is like without football
Hmm.
and just that transition from doing sun up to sundown, like from like just college, what that all entails, from meetings to practice to workouts to classes to, I mean, study tables. I mean, it's an occupation. I'm glad folks are getting paid for what they're doing now and the time they commit to it, and especially how much the university makes off these folks. But yeah, it was just a transition that like was hard to turn into reality because I don't know, sometimes you never want things to end, but sometimes I don't know, God has a bigger plan, but also it's like, I don't know, just adapting to what is real is hard for some people sometimes. So
Yeah,
it was yeah, I don't know, that experience
I
there
got
after.
I got two more quick questions for you, man. I think we'll wrap it up. Um, the first one is, and I mean, it can be a quick yes, no, you know what I mean. But do you think college, like just being in college, whether it's playing football, academics, graduating, whatever, your whole entire experience, do you think that fully prepared you for life after college?
I would say that it gave me the right tools,
Mm-hmm.
gave me a lot of perspective, but I feel like life after college, um, you're still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to like buying a house, opening up a bank account, starting a business, um, taxes, like there's just a lot of things that like you still need help with. I would say maybe post 25, folks start to like understand what it is to actually like be an adult. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
still like a young adult in your early 20s, but like I don't know, I just feel like after everything that I learned, I still had a lot to learn. Still learn to this day.
Gotcha.
Just
Yeah,
turned
you
30
said.
over the
I'm
weekend
about to
and
say, yeah,
just
you
like
just turned big 30, man. Yeah, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
appreciate
Big
it, bro. I mean,
milestone.
definitely 30s is something where I'm looking forward to it. In my 20s, I did a lot. Did a lot in my
Mm-hmm.
20s. Experienced a lot, thank God, and just like I don't know, from adapting, figuring out, and still figuring it out. I mean, I definitely am something where I'm more of a believer now in God. I definitely do believe in Him, and just when it comes to um, just abiding by Him, understanding kind of what He does and what why things happen in life, and just like um, overall, just understanding like why we're here on this earth. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God today. Just dying for our sins, and really just when it comes to me turning 30, like I said, I did a lot, but like in my 30s and just more of a man I'm becoming, like I really am wanting to put God more at the forefront. I wish I would have done that at an earlier age.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something where like you're still trying to figure it out from spiritually, you know, just understanding kind of God, the Bible, from mentally like adapting to maybe, starting a career, or trying to figure it out, or having a kid at an early age, or, just trying to basically navigate through your experiences in your previous life, and just like even physically, like health wise, just
Yeah.
like taking care of your body, because at 30, like your body is I don't know, your temple. Like you only got one body. So if it starts to break down, like you can look back and see like why it started breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a lot of perspective I've been given. But I feel like at that time, just from college to the real world, like I was not prepared. And now I am more so equipped with a lot of things that can kind of make me the best man I can possibly be.
That's what's up. My last one, man. I mean, podcast called 81 Reasons for a reason. Just find that reason to keep going. So, my question is, what would you say your biggest reason to keep going is? Like, because I mean, life as we know it is not easy. Unfortunately, we just lost another brother just recently, Corey Cunningham. So, send our condolences to the Cunningham family down in Alabama. That's a tough loss for the Bearcats and all of his friends and us as well. I mean, I mentioned to you when we talked about this podcast, one of the guys I wanted to interview was Big Country Corey, um,
Yeah, man.
and that's just a tough loss for us. It hit hard. Um, so I guess just this vulnerable part right now is like, what would you say your biggest reason to keep going is?
Um, I would say my biggest reason to keep going is just like you had mentioned, just with Corey, and with us starting this podcast calling it 81 Reasons for Dowdy, um, is really just kind of doing it for like those folks that like need this. Like, so this platform, this podcast, opening this up here, I think is something that we've been called to do,
Mm,
just to allow people to open up that space, that platform, that um, willingness to tell their story, and just kind of, I don't know, if you can help someone by telling your story and they can learn from your mistakes instead of making their own, like that's something that I'm big on. Is a wise person learns from
Other people's
other
mistakes,
people's mistakes. A smart person learns, or excuse me, no, a smart person learns from
his
um
mistakes.
yeah, other mistakes. A wise person learns, yeah.
I got what you.
So, but basically, bro, I mean, I'm just, I don't know, when it comes to like my purpose, like who I am, like what I'm doing, that is all just up to God. And but it's up to me just when it comes to who I don't know, decide to be that day.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to just that realness happening and hearing your brothers, fellow teammates, um, fallen unfortunately due to just mental illness and just due to experiences going on in their life. Like, I believe that being a vessel, just starting this platform here and just being able to have folks like commune together and just like have fellowship and just like have conversations about what is going on in their life. Like, I feel like me just telling my story is something that's really been something I've been waiting to do.
Hmm.
Um, and even though there's, I mean, more to it. Like, I mean, we're
Yeah.
just talking about, sports and just life in general, but like, I don't know, it's just something where like if people can like feel like, I don't know, they're not in their own head all the time and that they can like express themselves who they truly are and not be molded by like the world. Like that's something like I'm speaking on when it comes to like God. Like, I think it's Romans 12:2. Do not be um transformed. Do not be conformed by the world, be transformed by the renewing of your own mind. And I don't know, it's just like the worldly things that are going on in life. It is hard just because I don't know. I mean, there's so many things happening at the palm of your hands to just like
Hmm.
um career wise, what is going on? Where's my path when it comes to making income? How do I start a family? How do I find the right person I love? How am I doing when it comes to um just communicating and like having that balance as things get older, life happens, like you have kids. When's the last time I talked to my mom, my dad, or my grandma? When the last time I visited her? When's the last time I talked to one of my teammates? You just never know when that time comes, like God forbid sooner than later. And it's just like having that balance, I feel like is something that um I'm still working on, but I feel like ultimately, like if I can have just I don't know, enough, I guess just enough willpower. I mean, there's not willpower, but I guess just balance in my life.
Hmm.
Just like I said, just a lot of things going on, just people trying to do what they're trying to do, but like you never know when the last time you might talk to somebody is,
Right.
whether it's like either on the phone or like DMing somebody or texting somebody. Like, yeah, there's just things I look at sometimes and it's hard to make reality. Like, I mean, Corey, talking to him on Instagram not too long ago. Same with Dowdy, and it's just like for those things to like actually happen, it's just like life is so precious.
Right.
And it's something where like even us talking, doing this, what we've been talking about for a long time, like it's really awesome to see it like come to fruition because we don't know it all right now. We're still trying to figure it out, but like we are doing our best to try to, especially with like you said, circumstances that's happened, that's kind of made setbacks in our lives. And it's like, how do we adapt to that? And that's something that I'm even big on when it comes to like three rules in my life. Um, Number one, life's not black and white. There is gray area. So it's just basically it's not just as transparent as it looks. There's stuff in between the lines that are going on in people's lives and our lives, and any kind of, whether it be a discrepancy or someone you might have, beef with, like something might have been going on in their life at that time, or just something, you might have been holding a grudge or something at that time. And it's like there's a little gray area that we have to be
Hmm.
cognizant of and give people grace for, because people, we don't understand what's going on in their life. They don't really understand what's going on in our life. We have like depictions of what's going on in our lives through Instagram, social media, and just short videos. That's why like this long story form is something where I'm like big on, passionate about, just trying to start to like create that path to understanding, like instead of 5, 10 second minute clips or just posts and captions online, like deep down what's going on, like what's up,
Right.
like how's things going, like and I mean, going over the other kind of rules to my life, it is rule number 2, shoot or shoot. So if you got your
Take a
opportunity, shoot at
chance.
it. Whether that's a career, whether that's significant other, whether that's just I don't know, opportunities that you might let slip by. Like if you don't, you look back and you're like, dang, I had the last second shot, but I didn't shoot it. Now guess
Hmm.
what? The game's over. What is, all you can do is talk about what if, and that's never
Yeah.
a good thing. So shoot your shot, shoot at your opportunities. Continue to just like Steph, bro, just keep firing. It'll go
Right.
in more and more, just the more times you keep trying it. And then rule 3 to Marcus's rules of life is it's all about the bounce back.
I do
So
it. I do it.
so that's the heavy hitter right
It's
there.
all
Number
about the bounce
rule number
back,
3. I
baby.
don't even be telling some of my folks that I'm like, hey, rule number 3. They like
It's
it's
all,
all about the bounce back.
it's all about the bounce back, baby.
So I mean, I don't know. When it comes to life happening, bro, hitting rock bottom, things going on in life, how do you bounce back? And I don't know. Thankfully, like I've found through bouncing back, like finding personal development being a big factor in my life, just from like motivational videos on like YouTube to just listening to a lot of different podcasts that have blueprints for success and things that they've paved the way for other folks like myself to try to navigate and understand this world. And even too, it was in college, I believe it was like my second year or so, first year. Eric Thomas, he came to be a speaker,
And yeah.
and bro, it was a pivotal moment because I'm like, bro,
Hmm.
who is this guy,
And he,
bro?
he lit it up.
Lit it up, bro, and that changed my
Hmm.
life for like ever, for real. It's like once I started to understand, like, okay, there's folks like this out there. Like I heard E.T. Eric Thomas. Um, I heard after that it was like Jim Rohn to Tony Robbins to just like Les Brown, um, Zig Ziglar, like a lot of different like motivational speakers that have like transformed millions of lives. And we just don't understand the power of our tongue, the power of
Power of the
our
tongue.
words, and just
Power of the tongue is life.
how much that can really jet set someone's life and really change it. Maybe it's something that they need, that just that flip just switch like that,
Hmm.
or something that we say and that flip just, okay, I didn't know that, like, and that's where we're all still trying to learn, we're all still trying to figure it out. Like I said, I just turned 30, still trying to figure it out. People are 40s, 50s, and life still trying to
Still
figure
trying
out.
to.
We got a lot of life to live. I mean, you never know when your time is, but like live each day like it's your last. Just try to keep
Yeah.
going, find that willingness to get through the day. But yeah, just when it comes to, I don't know, those 3 rules there, I learned in Las Vegas, but I've been using those
What
for
a
about
time.
everything in life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nah, man, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I think this was great. Obviously, we told each other that we had a set time of what we wanted to do, right? But then again, we also said we're gonna be raw and uncut. Um, and I mean, we went over our time, but I think that was well needed, man, for you to get uh get your story rolling. I don't want to say get it out there because, like you said, there's a lot more. There's a lot. There's still something still in there. You know what I mean? But just to get your story rolling, and I think that was a great foundation to lay, in my opinion. Hopefully, the viewers think so, man. But I just want to say thank you for taking the time out, bro, to sit here and be vulnerable. Um, this was, I mean, obviously helpful for me, to have you go first. You know what I mean? But
Hey,
uh,
listen, if I gotta pave the way, bro,
hey, that's
hey,
it. You know, but nah,
that's all it
I
is.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Appreciate you watching it, man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, man. Even if it's just a like, you know what I'm saying. We just want to really get this out there, man, to help whoever we can help, and it takes a community and a village to help each other. So,
Yeah, man.
um,
Hey, like, share, subscribe. Show love with a comment, bro.
yeah,
What'd you take away
that is
from this? Anything of that? Show love somehow, some way. I mean, that's just how the world goes, moves around. Just when it comes to just like word of mouth. I mean, before social media, it was just something where that's how we got the message relayed. But
right.
like now we got all we got to do is click a button. All we got to do is type in something. All we got to do is hit subscribe on the YouTube 81 Reasons Pod, um, Instagram, same handle, uh, X. You know,
Yeah,
I'm just grateful. I'm blessed. I'm thankful to be able to kind of finally be able to open up what kind of things have happened in my life. Hopefully, it helps a lot of other people. But just when it comes to I don't know, other folks that, we've played ball with, other folks that hear this, other folks that have been a college athlete. I open up the door for you to be
reach out.
vulnerable, to tell your story. I know that there's something there that a lot of people can learn from when it comes to what's happened in your life and what other people can learn from it and take away from it. And just, yeah, I invite a lot of people just to kind of reach out if it's something you need to talk about. Um, if it's something that you want to kind of tell your story and something where you feel like this is resonating to you and allowing people to kind of hear what's happened, man. So I look forward to kind of interviewing other folks. We got Zach Edwards coming up here next for the interview. So stay tuned for that. And then stay tuned for a lot of other kind of stories moving forward. So I appreciate y'all, man. It's the 81 Reasons Pod. It's
Find
your
yours, baby.
find yours, man. What's your reason? So it's your boy Marcus and my co-host Zach. We out.
We out. Appreciate
Peace.
y'all.